I think there are two things to bear in mind about that. The first thing is that the phenomenon itself shouldn't be at all surprising. The second is that the scale, at least to me, is kind of surprising. I hadn't really expected that scale. But the phenomenon is normal. And it's, again, as American as apple pie. You can go back a century. Take, say, the Philippine War early in the 19th century. 20th century. It was a vicious war. The U.S. conquered the Philippines, killed a couple 100,000 people. It was a major popular nationalist movement. After the military victory, it had to be suppressed and controlled. And a huge pacification campaign was initiated using the highest technology of the day for surveillance, subversion, breaking up groups, building up hostilities, all kinds of things. Very sophisticated. It was very quickly transferred home. It was used by Woodrow Wilson in the Red Scare, the worst repression in American history, and developed further since. It's had a lethal effect on the Philippines. People mourn the typhoon that killed tens of thousands of people. That doesn't happen in functioning societies. It's very striking in the Caribbean. When a tropical storm goes through the Caribbean, in Haiti, one of the major victims of imperial violence, it's vicious. Right next door in Cuba, 3 people died. Some buildings are knocked over. Same storm. Depends on the society. Well, the Philippines is a society that we created, have maintained. It's the one part of Southeast Asia that hasn't taken part in the so-called Asian miracle, not one of the Asian tigers. There's a reason for that, good reason. But these techniques, you can be confident that any state or a commercial enterprise, any system of power, is going to use whatever technology is available to try to control and dominate its, what amounts to its major enemy, namely the population. That's what power systems are going to do. The scale of what was revealed, I think, was a little surprising, but it actually shouldn't be. And there's more to come. Those of you who read technical journals, like, say, the MIT Technology Review, should know what's coming. So, for example, just in the Tech Review recently, there have been articles on things like there and elsewhere on the hardware in computers, which is now being designed. They blame China, but of course that means it's being done 10 times as much here, to put in components in the hardware that will enable the manufacturer to record every keystroke, everything that's happening on your computer. American businesses are worried because if they have Chinese computers, they'll be picking it up at the People's Liberation Army. But they don't point out that the American systems are doubtless much more advanced than doing the same thing. Robotics is a field that's been worked on pretty hard for many years here too. And one of the goals, quite explicit, nothing secret, is to develop fly-sized drones, tiny robots, which can, get on the ceiling of your living room and carry out constant surveillance. And drones tend to go from surveillance to lethal capacities very quickly. So we can expect that pretty soon. These are things that are in development. Any system of power is going to use them. And pretty strikingly, jihadis are going to use them. One of the things we're doing right now is creating perfect technology for terrorist attacks. It's not a secret. You take a look at drone technology. Right by today already, it's claimed that for $300 you can purchase a small drone online. Now that's improving very fast, and for terrorist activities, just perfect. If you want to get a picture of it. There's an article in this month's leading journal of foreign affairs in Britain, the Royal Institute Journal of International Affairs, describing how we are rapidly creating the technology to permit massive terrorist attacks on ourselves. That's also typical. Power systems seek short-term power and domination. They are not concerned with security. It's contrary to academic dogma. You can easily show that. They're interested in power, domination, the welfare of their primary domestic constituencies, which are wealth, concentrated wealth. And if there's a disaster in the long term, it's not their business. You can show that. I mean, it's obvious with environmental issues. It's the same with nuclear weapons. The same right now with drone technology. So sure, this stuff is going to go on unless we stop it. You can stop it too. It doesn't have to go on.